All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight, live on Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams. I decided to do another, late night stream here tonight because I know there are some night owls out there that enjoy the content. And plus, I cater my content globally. So I know out there in the UK, they're 8 hours ahead, and it is early in the morning there. So good morning to you folks out there in the UK, and good evening or good late night to the rest of you folks wherever you're watching from, especially North America here in the US and Canada. I got a great show here for you folks tonight. Going to be on probably for an hour and a half or so. Before we get to the topic, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. And it just went out. And let me also check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. And it looks like it is. Tonight, we're going to be discussing responding to more viewer comments plus 5 key lessons of forgiveness. One more time, responding to more viewer comments plus 5 key lessons of forgiveness. Here's how tonight's show is going to go in 2 parts. The first part is going to be myself responding to more comments from a video I did, or a live stream I did, yesterday, or by the time you view this, most of you will view it on the replay in the morning, a couple days ago. Regarding standing up for this new content creator, a young woman in her early 30s that goes by the channel name of All In with Ari, and how I feel that she's being, harassed and attacked, and she's being called a scammer and stuff like that, and how ridiculous it is. The comments keep pouring in, and I'm nearing 100 comments on that video. Probably one of the most engaging video I've ever created out here on YouTube in the 5.5 years I've been creating full time out here. So tonight I'm going to be responding to more comments. Some of them are pretty positive. Others are just people projecting, and it's rather comical. And I'm not here to hate upon anyone, and I'm not here to be overly critical. I'm just here to state the facts. With me, I give constructive criticism and constructive feedback. I'm not out here to attack or hate upon anyone. I'm just here to give constructive feedback. I won't even call it criticism. I'll call it constructive feedback because that's a more positive way to look at it. So let's go ahead and get right to the first part here. Got 5 in the box, 4 in the box now. I know that many people that follow me have a few other options to view right now, and I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing that some people just don't get it. Just don't understand what the word ignore means. Ignore, and just move on and create your own greatness. But some people just want to continue feeding into things, and to each its own. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm here to run my own show with real content and real value. So let's get right to it. Let us go ahead and switch over to the browser source. And I did some comments. I did a live stream last night here on this same channel, Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams, where I was going over the comments I had received so far, or thus far at that point on this same video, Standing Up for Creators Being Clout Chased. And below you'll see the title, Standing Up for All In with Ari and Other Creators Being Clout Chased. At this time, okay. Honestly, I'm not going to sit here and get trolled by people. I will make it very clear I love everyone, regardless of your age, sex, race, national origin, or even sexual orientation. But if you're going to come in here as part of my trolls and haters and try to troll me with stuff like that, you're going to get banned. Okay? Just ridiculous. Nobody comes into the chat and introduces themselves as, I'm a 27-year-old transgendered person. Nobody does that. They say, hello, how are you, Eli? It's great to meet you. You come out and say that right away, you're trolling, okay? I have nothing against anyone, but I know trolling techniques, and it's just really, really stupid, okay? All right, so this video, as of right now, has 439 views, 25 likes. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And 86 comments. So let's just scroll down below and continue reading more comments that have come in since the comments I read on last night's show and responded to as well. All right. Let's see. 18 replies to this here. The ones that say 1 day ago are the ones I've already read. Metallica at Princess Peach. What my opinion about you is none of your business, or what it is about you. I get what you meant to write. What are you, 12 years old? Yeah, a lot of these men, and it's primarily men that are behaving like 12-year-olds or 2-year-olds. I like to say, Princess Peach. It's 30 and 40-year-old, men in their late 20s and 30s and 40s, and sometimes into their 50s. They're coming out here and just projecting their insecurities and acting. You're giving them too much credit saying 12 years old. They're like 2-year-olds. They're like a 2-year-old whiny female dog. Go back and read what you wrote down. I love how all the comments and replies have been deleted. I don't blame you or your life coach. I would delete them as well. I'm not quite sure what you meant by that. But there's nothing wrong with what Princess Peach has been saying. She's in support of All In with Ari. And, Princess Peach is not saying that Ari is a saint, right? But, she's trying to turn her life around. And, she hasn't done anything regarding what people have accused her of, right? And just because she didn't, start her channel off by, saying everything up front doesn't mean that she's trying to scam people. I mean, this is ridiculous. Let's see here. At Princess Peach, and you have no problem with her lying. Oh, okay. You obviously didn't read my comment before you took it down, because if you had, I said that I liked her and I feel there's a difference between hating on someone and calling them out. Would you agree or disagree? Well, calling someone out, yeah, I mean, if it's constructive criticism, right? Like I could give, All In with Ari some constructive criticism and say, yeah, had you known better, maybe you could have been a little more upfront about, what's going on. But even when I first came out here on YouTube, there were things that people looked into me, such as, I had a bankruptcy 13 years ago that I wasn't too proud of. That's the only thing on my background check. No criminal history, not even a parking ticket or a speeding ticket. But I didn't feel the need to have to come out here and say, okay, my name is Coach Eli, Elias Melas. And if you look into my background, I have a bankruptcy. It came off my record because it stays on your record for 10 years here in California. But it still shows you had a bankruptcy at some point. But after 10 years, your credit is restored. So I didn't feel the need to say that, but people looked into me and then they started calling me out on it, and I don't think that, changes who I am. And plus my credit's perfect again. And, it was one little mistake I made in the past, but I've been scrutinized. Oh, you're not being transparent enough. Okay. I mean, I don't think that's really that big of a deal. That doesn't, describe my personality or anything like that. I just made some financial mistakes back in those days, and I learned from them. But yeah, if you're calling somebody out in a constructive way and you're not attacking them, no problem. If you're attacking them, then you're hating on them. And I just responded back because I wasn't sure if Metallica was talking to me or not. I wrote, I haven't deleted anything. Metallica furthermore says 15 hours ago at Coach Eli 2 authentic live streams. So you are Princess Peach? No, I'm not Princess Peach. I'm Coach Eli, Elias Melas. This is my face. This is my real name. Well, you can't see it here on the main screen. I put it Coach Eli, Elias Melas. I live in Redwood City, California. This is who I am. I'm not a woman, dude. Trust me, I'm not. And I don't feel the need to prove it to you. And even if I did try to prove it to you live on the air here, YouTube would shut my channel down. So my comment was to her about the fact that she took down her comment. I didn't accuse you, but now we know the truth. Thanks. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe she, wanted to rewrite what she wrote. I mean, sometimes people type fast from their phones and they make a mistake. Now, you can also edit from your phone as well, but sometimes people will just delete it instead of editing it. So that's on them. Or maybe they changed their mind. Okay, maybe they had to rethink what they were saying. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you're watching someone that closely, I get it. If you make a comment and someone responds to your comment, you get an email notification from YouTube and Google. And if it gets deleted, then you still have a copy of it in your email. But yeah, people change their mind and they may need to rethink things, so they'll delete and put a new comment out there. If you're watching someone that closely, you've got too much time. You've got too much time on your hands. I'm Zen54, and I noticed you're part of the other side, ma'am. I know where you're from, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. You're entitled to your opinion. Awesome summary. Furthermore, I'm Zen54 says, "At Princess Peach, keep waiting. It takes a bit to weave such a tangled web." Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's a fair statement there. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this plays out. Show more replies. Metallica, 14 hours ago, at Princess Peach. What my opinion about you is none of your business. Obviously, if it is about you, it is totally your business. Can you not see that? The reason I asked if you're 12 years old is you obviously are having trouble with understanding the meaning of many words. That's not hating on you. That's just pointing out the fact that you don't understand what you're writing. Well, I don't know how old Princess Peach is. And maybe she's not as experienced, but she's in support of what Ari's doing. And all she's coming out here and saying is that, it's not right what people are doing, to Ari at a general broad-based level. And I feel the same way. Anything else is pretty much irrelevant. So let's see. Now, Princess Peach responded an hour later, 13 hours ago. At Metallica, I understand clearly what you are saying, and and like I said previously, your opinion about or assumptions are none of my business, and I mean that basically it's another way of telling you I don't care what you think about me. I got to give that to you. Now, do you understand? I'm not having trouble understanding you at all, but I see that you are maybe you meant to say you have trouble understanding me. That's okay. We won't see eye to eye on this matter. And that's okay. You can agree to disagree and respectfully disagree and move on. You're sharing your opinions. That's what this is all about. That's great. Metallica responds, at Princess Peach. Oh, I totally understand. If you didn't care, you wouldn't reply. Good try. Oh, by the way, go back and read your last comment to me. Then you might see why I have made a few of the comments that I have. You have a great day today, and I hope everything works out for you. This conversation is going on way, way, way too long. By the way, let me check out and make sure the sound is sounding okay here. Assumptions are none of my business, and I mean that basically it's another way of telling you. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, let's continue here. Okay, that was a nice response, Metallica. Metallica, furthermore, says, at Princess Peach, I wasn't giving you an outright opinion on what I think about you in my first comment to you. I thought this was more about sharing our opinions about All In with Ari, okay? And now we're making it about, how we are communicating about this amongst each other. And now we're beginning to kind of semi-attack each other when the purpose is to discuss the situation regarding Ari. We're getting a bit off topic here, but that's okay. It happens. Again, I wasn't giving you an outright opinion on what I think about you in my first comment to you. All I said was, if you found out that she had hurt her child, would that make a difference to you? And if you say no to that question, then that would tell me a lot about you. Do you not understand that if someone asks you a question about the topic of child abuse and you found out that somebody abused the child and they wanted to know would you look at them the same way you currently are? And you say no. How in a civilized society that might be a telltale sign of you as a person? Well, any normal, decent person is not going to feel good about somebody that's abused their child. But, and I'm not saying that a child abuse or any abuse in general towards anyone is a good thing. It's not. But there are different levels of abuse. And sometimes, abuse can be like neglect. Maybe she was neglecting her child. Maybe she wasn't in the best position to take care of her child. Maybe she's been struggling emotionally and mentally. It sounds like she's had, good jobs and has made good money. It sounds like she went to college, got a degree and has had good jobs. But, maybe, outside of work, maybe she wasn't in the best place mentally and emotionally to take care of her child at that point. Maybe that's where she's at right now. Maybe she's doing this, getting away for a while to clear her head. And then, come back when she's got her shit together. So there you go. So, it depends. If she was very abusive to her child and beating her child and doing stuff like that, yeah. But I don't think it was like that. I think it probably ended up being more neglect than abuse. Because if it was really abusive, she wouldn't even have visitation rights. Metallica at Princess Peach. The fact that you did what many people do while making excuses for others by totally avoiding the question and coming back with your own diatribe of what you wanted people to hear instead of answering the question kind of says a lot. I think we're kind of overdoing it here. This is getting a little too ridiculous, but let's continue anyway. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Princess Peach says, at Metallica, I don't need to answer your question when you don't understand what I'm saying to begin with. We are just going back and forth. You also made false accusations towards me. Therefore, we both won't see eye to eye anyway. So does it matter? We don't agree, and that's okay. I'm not trying to change your decision about what you think about Ari. My opinion is not your opinion. That's true. And Metallica, she's right about that. You're entitled you're entitled to your opinion and she's entitled to hers. We're all entitled to our opinion. And we can agree to disagree respectfully and move on, right? The fact that you are doing what most people do and use psychology to manipulate isn't going to work on me. I think he's just trying to have a conversation. I think it's a man that is under the Metallica account. Is Metallica being rude or overly pushy? No. I mean, he's standing up for what he believes in. But I think this conversation's been extended a bit too far. Go try some weak-minded person instead. Nice try, though. I can understand a woman saying something like that. A man would just not even say, go try some weak-minded person instead. Nice try, though. We would just walk away from it and focus on better quality people, dealing with better quality people. This was 2 hours ago. I got this comment and I really, really liked it. It's from a YouTube user named JD. All right, give me a second here. JD says, I don't believe Ari is a scammer, just dishonest and seeking sympathy. I don't think she's being dishonest at all. And who wouldn't be seeking sympathy if they've gone through something? That's a natural thing for anyone to seek, whether you're a man or a woman, if you've gone through a lot of things in life. She states she moved to California because of an ex threatening her life. That's a possibility. Maybe she was, verbally, emotionally, and physically abused in the relationship with the man she had the child with. We don't know that, right? You don't know what she's been through. You guys don't even understand the crazy things women deal with nowadays, because most men nowadays are not raised to be men. So they become emotionally abusive and sometimes even physically abusive. I have a feeling she was physically and emotionally abused, verbally abused, mentally abused, every type of abuse. I'm sure she's been through it. And if that's the case, for her to move past it and do this and let that all pass and get better, she's doing the right thing. Right? She states she is homeless because her family kicked her out, but she was already planning on moving out before this happened. Okay, well, she was probably trying to get away from the crappy situation she felt she was in, right? And maybe she was a part of making that crappy situation happen for her. But, regardless, she wanted to get away from it. And I don't blame her, right? She had a full-time job, but was choosing to live in her car for months. So she's not actually homeless because she's choosing this. Well, if you look at it from a technical standpoint, she has the money to afford an apartment or rent something out, right? Now, in California, I believe she's in Southern California, it's still pretty expensive to rent down there, just like it is here in Northern California in the San Francisco Bay Area where I live. But I'm sure she's making enough money, and she's going to continue making enough money to be able to afford it. But hey, instead, she got this Mercedes van, I guess is what it is, and she wants to create videos and live out of her car. Maybe that's the way she wanted to do things. She'll be able to travel around and create videos and enjoy life and make money doing it. What is wrong with that? Now, maybe she amped up the homeless thing a little bit, but technically she's not living in a home or an apartment. So she's living out of her van, which is technically, without a home. I mean, but this is a nice van. So, it's probably the next best thing, right? If you're going to have to live out of a car, at least live out of a nice van. I get it. And the women that have done this nomadic van life thing, they've all, created really nice livable vans. But again, I don't see this as dishonest. I mean, you folks should have been able to figure this out from the very beginning and decided on whether you wanted to support her or not. She makes a video about how terrible her family life is, but when she speaks about her mistakes, they were just young and dumb errors. Well, what's wrong with that? I made young and dumb errors. I still make dumb errors at age 48. I make fewer dumb errors at my age right now, but when I was in my teens and 20s and early 30s, I made a shit ton of mistakes because I was young and dumb and full of something I won't say. I don't want to get demonetized here. Okay? And, maybe her parents were very strict, okay? Maybe her parents might have been abusive. You never know. We don't know what she went through. But the way she turned out says a lot about how her parents raised her. So how can you hold that against her, right? Her family didn't commit those crimes, and she was deemed an unfit mother for whatever reason. All right, so be it. So maybe she's been deemed an unfit mother. How does that make her a scammer on YouTube for running a business out of a van if people choose to want to donate to her? If you don't like how she lived her life, right, that's your problem. But what she's doing right now on YouTube is just trying to run a business. How come you folks just can't see that, right? Hey, Jackson, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Great to see you, man. Great to see you, brother. She easily points out her family's sins, but takes little to no accountability for hers. Ari makes bad decisions in life. How can you come out and say she's not taking accountability for what she's done? Moving away from the problem is the first step in taking accountability and realizing I got to get away before I make more mistakes. You're just not thinking about it, okay? You're not thinking, about the complete situation. So her moving out to California and doing this to get away from all those issues was a great thing to get away from the issues, right? And she has taken accountability for some things. But she's only been doing this for just about a month or so. Give the woman some time to ease into being a new YouTuber and reaching YouTube fame and having to deal with all this stuff, right? Give her some time to open up more. She will. And if she doesn't, then stop supporting her if you don't like the way she's handling things. But she's not doing anything wrong, and she's definitely not a scammer, like you said, JD. Let's continue. If Ari would have stated earlier that she is living in her car by choice, we would have all accepted her. Maybe she hadn't decided that yet. She wanted to see if it was feasible. Have you guys ever thought that if someone's going to live out of a van, they're not going to be able to work their job anymore living out of a van. Okay? It's not going to be feasible. So she was trying to see, okay, can I start this channel and make it feasible to the point of where I can, quit my job and do this full time, right? I mean, you don't know how it's going to pan out until you do it. There were a lot of things that were unknown when she started doing this. And all of a sudden it just took off. And because it took off, now you guys and gals are all over her, at least the people that are calling her a scammer. Had she not, blown up to nearing 100K subs after a month, no one will be talking about her. You're only talking about her because what she's doing is working and getting her fame and traction. That's the bottom line. If she also would have mentioned she had made a lot of bad decisions and needed a fresh start with van life, we would have loved her. Well, she was new to YouTube. She was going to get to that, and she's been talking about that. Do you expect someone to just come out on YouTube in their first video and show you their background report, tell you where they live, tell you their name change, tell you all this stuff? Or wouldn't they want to ease into it and create separate pieces of content and build up to it? You folks are expecting way too much too soon. You're only coming at her because she's blown up, and that's the bottom line. And you guys all want a piece of that, and you're jealous, and you want to clout chase her or shame her because you can't be as successful as she is. Nope, she gives us, I'm homeless and my family sucks. Maybe that's how she felt though, right? Maybe that's how she felt initially, right? And she came out on YouTube and said, okay, let me see what happens if I, run my YouTube channel and do this nomadic van life type of thing. Let's see what kind of traction I get, and we'll play it by ear. And it took off. Again, if it hadn't taken off, no one would be talking about her. Has anyone come to think about why so many people looked into her background? Because they're jealous that she's successful, because she's cute, because they wish they could be in her position with close to 100K subs after only 1 month of being a YouTuber. Her stories didn't add up. I don't care if she got a hotel and went to a Mercedes dealership. That's the least important part of her story to me. I'm glad you realize that. I think the entire, story, is irrelevant according to what she's trying to accomplish. She's trying to run a business, right? And she's going to share her stories along the way as she feels comfortable in doing so, or as she sees fit regarding the best way to grow her channel. If you give everything away in one video, then no one's going to keep watching you. You got to keep people in suspense. Have you folks ever thought about that? Wow. All right. Nothing happened in the chat. We're all good. We're at 28 minutes. We're going to take a break at 45 minutes and then come back with the second part of the show. King Tiburon. Good for you, brother. Thank you for doing the right thing and standing up for this girl or any other human being that is trying to turn their life around. Of course. Of course. That's what she's trying to do. And she has made a great start at turning her life around. She's become a successful and famous YouTuber in a month. A feat that most people will never accomplish in a month. And that's why people are coming at her. Obviously, there's something special in this woman to be able to reach fame quickly. Yes, part of it has to do, she's cute and attractive, and the thirsty beta males are going to help her blow up. But her story is interesting. What she's doing is interesting, and people are invested. Even I'm invested. And I'm not a drama channel. I'm a coach. But I'm trying to present this in the most respectful, professional, and mature way possible so people really understand what's happening here. Because the other channels will just tell you, what they want to tell you. They'll just put out whatever it takes to get traction and leverage her. That's it. I'll tell you the truth. And you are right. Everybody sees it. All these wannabe YouTubers are trying to elevate their own platforms while trying to destroy another person's success. That's true. It is disgusting. And I'm going to make sure I remember all these wicked people to make neither I nor anyone else I know subscribe or watches any of the trash they put out. Keep up the good work. Good luck to you. Thank you, King Tiburon. I greatly appreciate it, man. Greatly appreciate it. I did write back and thank you for it. I'm not going to read that. You folks can go into the comments section of that video and read my feedback for yourself. JD, the person I was just, talking about a little bit ago, responded 2 hours ago at Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams. Don't think it is clout chasing. People speak about what is relevant, and Ari is the hottest thing right now. Well, Andrew Tate is up there too. LOL, just my opinion. Well, I haven't heard a whole lot of Andrew Tate. Maybe I'll look into him. Thank you for mentioning that, JD. But, dude, with no disrespect, dude, I respectfully disagree with you and say this is 100 million% complete clout chasing and jealousy. This woman is not a scammer. She's being called a scammer because that word gets a lot of attention from people on YouTube, and people are more likely to tune in when somebody's calling someone a scammer. You yourself said she's not a scammer. So if she's not a scammer, and the majority of these YouTubers, which are middle-aged men, are coming at her and saying she's a scammer, what part of that isn't clout chasing? It's completely clout chasing. I disagree, brother, respectfully, but thanks for your comment. I appreciate that. All right. Give me a second here. Let me check out the chat here for a second. JH. God, a lot of you folks like to use initials instead of your real name. I get it. You don't want to dox yourself. I understand. Come on. You are smarter than this. Big Brother is all for show. It is not reality, and everyone knows that, of course. Well, there is a realistic aspect of it, but they are paid to be on that show. The cast is paid to be on that show, and they are asked to amp certain things up for drama and ratings, right? I get it. Ari is real. Of course she is. She came on under duress, explaining how terrible her life is, homeless, no family, and no friends. Maybe that's how she was feeling. She's a young woman in her early 30s that has probably dealt with a lot of emotional abuse, verbal abuse, and physical abuse from the man that she had the kid with, or other men, or maybe even from her father and mother. We do not know how much abuse she's dealt with. So maybe that's why she came out and said that. I don't think she came out saying all this to try to scam people to donate. And yeah, maybe she was trying to get people to feel sorry for her, but that's how she was feeling. I honestly feel she felt that way. She leaves her Cash App and all these other ways of donating. Well, I think this is a lady. There's a lady in the picture. Ma'am, I've got both my channels monetized. This is my live streaming channel. I have a $sign at the bottom of the chat. If you'd like to donate, well, if you watch this on the replay, you're not here live, you'll see the super thanks. You can send me a super thanks. If you're here live, you can send a super chat or a super sticker. If you want to become a channel member, you can. And I also have Cash App and PayPal. Nightbot's been sharing my Cash App and PayPal links every 7 minutes. I have that too. What's wrong with that? I don't, beg people for donations, and I mention it every now and then. But what's the problem with Ari putting out a Cash App and PayPal? Every YouTuber does that when they come out here. Well, I mean, honestly, why are we blaming this woman for something that most YouTubers do themselves when they first get started? Come on. On top of that, she beat her baby. We don't know exactly what happened. If she beat her baby, she would be in jail, and she wouldn't even have visitation rights. I think you folks are just going by, what the criminal record says, and you're just, assuming. She would not have even visitation rights if that was the case. Lied about everyone in her family for sympathy. I don't think she lied. Everybody goes through shit with their family. I love my family, but there have been times where I wasn't too fond of them. I've always loved them, but in the past, I felt my family was trying to slow down my success at other things I was trying to accomplish in life. Now at age 48, I've totally matured, and I cherish every day I have with my family, whatever's left of my family, right? But she's young, And everybody goes through shit with their family. So there's nothing wrong with her saying that. That's how she was feeling. And she put this all out there before she reached success, right? The reason why she blew up is because she was being authentic. You guys are just mad that because of her authenticity regarding what she's going through, she blew up. She has, let's see. She has a long criminal history, etc. She has visitation rights to see her son, and she doesn't want anything to do with him. How do you know that? How do you know that? Are you assuming that? Okay. Maybe the son was, born with a man that, beat her. Maybe when she sees her son, it reminds her of the man that was beating her, physically abusing her, verbally abusing her, or emotionally abusing her. Have you ever thought of that? Maybe she's traumatized and maybe she's trying to work through it. Her grandparents were well off and a loving family. Okay, that's great. That's good for them. What does that matter? Well, how does that matter? Why do people look so deeply into what someone's entire family has? People have looked into my family and my family's estate. I live my own life. I make my own money. I take care of myself. And I also contribute to my family's estate. But people have made a big deal out of that. Why do people even care? Just focus on the content the creator's creating. And if you like it and you want to support them, so be it. If not, just move on. Move on. Change the channel. There are many channels out here on YouTube. You have many choices. But you all get fixated on this stuff, right? Because you love drama, right? She is 32, not mid-20s. You clearly are not looking at the big picture or you are just not very bright. Well, ma'am, I'm not going to get triggered at your stab regarding my intelligence. And I'm doing all right, ma'am. I've got, a great girlfriend. We're about to have our 1-year anniversary. I've got 2 monetized YouTube channels. And you know what? I have a good life and good family. And I live in the Bay Area and I love my life. And I'm not here to talk smack about you or anyone. Okay? So, quite frankly, that was just a stab at the fact that I wasn't agreeing with you. And yes, I found out she was 32 after I did the stream or during the stream. Surprised this hasn't been deleted. Why? I wrote, why surprised? And, no response there. Why would I delete that? That's her opinion. Why would I delete a valid opinion? It was mentioned in a constructive way, with the exception of the stab she took at me saying I'm not seeing the big picture or just not very bright. I mean, I get it. But anyway, it is what it is. And then I responded below to JH. I found out she was 32 after I did the stream. Yes, she's made mistakes, just like all of us have. Would you like it if all of your mistakes were constantly used for clout chasing and content on YouTube? That's a fair question, and she hasn't responded. So I'm asking you a fair question, JH. Would you like it if all of your mistakes were constantly used for clout chasing and content on YouTube? How would you feel about that? If someone else was monetizing you, and your life, wouldn't that tick you off? People have done that about me or on me for years. And it's not the nicest thing. It doesn't feel good. I've learned to work through it and ignore it and focus on targeting my content to an audience that wants to view it. But yeah, you wouldn't like that. Trust me. These creators calling her a scammer don't care about what she's done. They only care about what gets them attention, views, subs, and donations. How can anyone come at her for getting donations for any reason when other creators are using her story for donations themselves? I mean, come on. Look at the big picture here, right? Pathetic. How about we chastise the creators that have no content and using her life story for content? They did the same thing to me. Many people have done the same thing to me, right? This is super pathetic in my opinion. Thanks for your feedback and have a great day. All right. Okay, 6 people here in the box. No new comments in the chat there. Jackie Matthews, I'm glad you are defending her. I think I read that yesterday. Let's see. We have some new comments here. I'm not going to read the ones I read yesterday. Giro de Italia. By the way, we're at 39 minutes, almost time for our first break here. At Coach Eli 2 Authentic Live Streams, do you or do you not understand that you are doing exactly what you're pointing fingers at others for doing? Okay. Yeah. Some people have come at me saying, Eli, you're clout chasing, but on the other side, the positive side, right? Well, hang on. We'll get to that in a second. Just because you are making excuses for her, I'm not making excuses for her. I'm sharing how I feel about what's actually happening, in my opinion. That's all I'm doing. I'm not making excuses. I'm sharing my opinion just like you are, right? Doesn't change the fact that you're doing exactly what everybody else is doing, with the exception many of those other influencers are actually doing the research to inform the public. I would think as a life coach, that would be of the utmost importance to you. It is, and I've done my research, and I'm stating my opinion based on my research and based on my life experience of 48 years. And I've done a lot of personal development on myself. So I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm very confident with my opinion regarding this. And if you don't agree with it, that's okay. You have your opinion, I have mine. Yeah. I haven't said anything mean or nasty, and I haven't used any profanity. No, you haven't. You're stating your opinion. It's all good. I'm just doing what I'm sure you agree with and voicing my opinion. Well, you're probably somebody that I've banned on an account in the past for projecting. You are voicing your opinion, and I respectfully disagree with your opinion, but you're entitled to it. So great. Thank you for sharing. So yeah, I responded. Let me read again what I wrote. What Little Lone Wolf wrote last night. At Coach Eli 2, a real life coach wouldn't involve themselves in such drama, though. They are spiritually trying to step away from their own egos, not using someone's story as a way to inflate their own ego. How am I trying to inflate my own ego? I'm standing up for this woman that I feel doesn't deserve what she's getting, or at least at the level she's getting it. Real life coaches don't use alpha versus beta male BS. Well, why not? You know how many thirsty beta males there are in this world that are struggling with women, and women are getting frustrated because they're saying there aren't any good men left out there, right? They're nice guys, but they have no spine because they weren't raised to be men. They were raised to be more feminine than masculine, right? Maybe try actually learning from a real life coach. Bet you would learn a lot. Well, that's a nice stab. And I follow Coach Corey Wayne and Coach Dan Bacon, two of the best life coaches out here on YouTube that I follow. So, yeah, I do follow other life coaches, but I have my own spin on things. I have my own experiences, and that's what I do. You know, and that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. And if that's you in the picture, yeah, you're pretty cute, but it's all good. It's all good. Thank you for your opinion. Now let's see what I wrote. Let's see what I wrote back. Little Lone Wolf and Giro. What I've mentioned is how I feel about this situation. Everyone deserves a second chance at life. This is Ari's. And if you were in her position, wouldn't you want a chance to fix the mistakes made during your younger days? All I have to say to everyone is to put yourself in other people's shoes before passing judgment. Again, this is clearly a case of clout chasing for the people that call her a scammer. For me, it is about standing up for what I believe in, and this falls right into alignment with how I help people with my coaching. Thanks for your feedback, and have a great day. You see, Little Lone Wolf, you kind of attacked me there, but I just blew it off because I'm a cool, calm, and collected type of guy, and I don't let that get to me anymore. I take it as your opinion, and I share mine in return and move on. And that's it. No big deal. Giro d'Italia responded and said, at Coach Eli 2 Authentic Live Streams, I agree with you. Everybody does deserve a second chance in some cases. If it is true that she abused her child, and I say if it is true, then she burned through her second, third, and fourth chances right there. You see, there you go. That is the most honest response I've seen so far. You're saying if it is true, we don't know what actually happened. Just because you see, an arrest record, right, or a record of someone being convicted of something, it doesn't state what actually happened, right? And I haven't looked closely at the record, but wasn't it a misdemeanor, right? Right? So, if that's the case, she did something that, wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as people are making her out to be. People are amping this up because they're trying to leverage her for subs, views, and donations. That's it. That's the bottom line. But I also feel that people should be transparent. Even Ronnie, which I guess used to be her name, she changed her name legally to Ari or Ariana, herself said that she was planning on telling everyone about this side of her life. That up until that point she had discussed. She just didn't think she was going to have to do it so soon. That's a fair statement. I said that earlier. Do you guys understand and gals understand that when you're running a YouTube channel, if you put everything out in one video, there's nothing to keep bringing the audience back for, right? You do it in spurts. It's kind of like when you watch a show on TV. Okay, there are seasons. There are a certain number of episodes per season. On average, shows have like 16 episodes per season, right? And what do they do at the end of each season? Okay, at the end of each season, if it's episode number 16, season 1, episode 16, the ending leaves you with what they call a cliffhanger, and then they make you wait 6 months for season 2, episode 1 to leave off from the point of the cliffhanger, and they get you talking about it, during those 6 months, and they start promoting it as it gets closer to the launch of season 2, episode 1, right? So this woman, honestly, in my opinion, is brilliant in the way she's trying to turn things around. She is a brilliant marketer, in my opinion. Brilliant. Maybe she has some help, but the way she's doing it is brilliant. And she got my attention, so she's brilliant. Well, not because she got my attention, but it takes a lot to get my attention. It does. It takes a lot. And she got it. If she's looking for a second chance and you find out she's lying about being homeless and she's living with her YouTube employee boyfriend and she's just playing everyone to get either fame or fortune, would you look at the situation differently? No, I wouldn't. I'd say, damn, you fooled us and you made a great business out of it, right? It's a business. She's not doing anything illegal. A lot of other YouTubers out here, are, doing shit to entertain people. It's entertainment, right? I'll just chalk it up to entertainment, right? There are a bunch of drama channels out here that instigate, BS with other YouTubers to get that back and forth going, and basically they sell that back and forth as entertainment to their audience. How different would it be with her, right? Yeah, and if she has a YouTube employee boyfriend, more power to her. I'd love to meet someone at YouTube and get to know them and get some help and tips on blowing up my channel. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, it's great to have those resources. I mean, it sounds like you folks are jealous of the fact that this woman is really good at finding the right resources, or maybe she got lucky. Maybe because she's cute, she attracted this guy, and now he's helping her. Now, this guy, hopefully, he's not a beta male, because if he's a beta male and she's using him for this, then that's a different story. But that's yet to be determined, right? I'm only going by what we know so far and what's been publicly made available. But if that happens, then wow, great, good for her, right? Her and her boyfriend are laughing, at the people that are, responding to this and trying to clout chase off of this. Good for them. We are at 49 minutes. Let me see what else I need to read here. There's just so much. Pretty sure Princess Peach is one of Ronnie's bots. I doubt that. Only people that can't organically grow use bots, I wrote. Buy subs and views, etc. Thanks for your feedback. Have a great day. Kip says, or outright scam. No, it's not a scam. She's not scamming, bro. She's running a business and having fun while trying to get her life back on track. That's all it appears to me. I've actually seen people truly scam others on YouTube. This is nothing compared to what I've seen. This is plain and simple clout chasing. Kip says, at Princess Peach, what is sickening is this talk about clout chasing, but here we have a complete nobody that calls himself a life coach is trying to set himself up in the Ari coattails. Well, Kip, you're probably from a group of people that's been trolling me for years. I'm not going to delete your message. You're just projecting, sir. And did I even respond to this? No, I didn't. But dude, I'm not clout chasing. I'm doing an actual reaction video. I've done a few reaction videos, and here on this stream, I didn't even tag her in or put her name, in the title. I'm just doing a reaction video. That's it. Bottom line. And I actually care about people having a fair shot at accomplishing what they want to accomplish without being trolled and harassed by, no-name people like you. Kip, that's not your real name. You don't show your face, right? You're a sock account. Sir, how can we value anything you're saying when you're just some person hiding behind the keyboard? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Come on, come out, show your face, use your real name like I do, and then maybe we can take you seriously. Metallica, at Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams. So as a life coach, are you saying that people should not be held accountable for their actions, both in the past and throughout their future? No, they should be held accountable, but she already paid the price. And how is it any of your business what happened to her in the past, right? How is it any of your business? If you folks want to look into people because the internet allows you to do background checks on anyone, do it. But then decide if you want to support that person or not. And if you decide not to support them, you don't need to go all over the internet and talk shit about them. These people have been through enough. We've all been through enough, right? Obviously, she's paid the price for what she's done. Okay? She's trying to turn it around. And who are you to say that, she deserves to be held accountable by the YouTube court of public opinion? I mean, seriously, who the fuck do these people think they are? Right? God. One way to get a clean start into the future is actually dealing with the past. Any good psychiatrist will tell you that. You just don't turn your back and act as if your past never happened in hopes of making it through to a bright future. Well, that's good advice, right? That's good advice there. But again, Metallica, she's been held accountable for what she's done. If not, she'd be in jail. She's not. She's not in jail. She had a full-time job in LA, started the YouTube channel, replaced her income very quickly, quit her job, and now is doing this full-time. So how has she not been held accountable for her actions? Seriously, come on. JH, at Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams. She's not trying to turn her life around. That's wrong, sir. She is. All she cares about is money, and she is going to screw over anyone to get it. Dude, are you jealous, dude? Are you insecure and jealous because she's got something that's working for her? She is turning her life around. After 1 month, she's almost at 100K subscribers, replaced her income, and probably going to make a hell of a lot more money than you make, sir. No disrespect intended. You're clearly projecting, and you're coming off insecure here. I have heard and believe she is working with 2 guys to pull this off. So what if she is? What if she is? Her story is a real story. What if these people heard her story and said, this is something that would be good for the YouTube platform. I'm a producer. I know somebody at YouTube. Let's turn this into something sustainable where you can replace the income that you're making at your job, and we can do this full time. What is wrong with that? That's how Hollywood works. It's no different on YouTube. It's all an act. maybe part of it is amped up. I think her story is true, but I think she's getting support because her story is so interesting that people wanted to help her get it out there because, yeah, they see dollar signs. Anything that is produced and managed has to make money to be feasible. What is wrong with that? That's how every show on, mainstream media TV works. It has to involve money or you can't do it. Come on, man. If she's so innocent, why did she tell everyone she would refund them for donations, but then turned off the button or whatever so you can't even request your money back? Well, yeah, that's something that probably shouldn't have been done. I didn't see that. If she did do that, maybe she overreacted, right? And that, I'll give you that, right? But think about it. If you've ever donated like I have, I've donated to many people that I wish I could get my money back. I'd say about 80% of the people I've donated to out here on YouTube, I'm no longer friends with or had a falling out with because these are people that attack me for no reason, right? But I'm not requesting the refund. I'm not angry and bitter over it. You give to give, not give to get. Once you give, part ways with that money and move on, right? Maybe she said that because she felt, that she didn't want to come off as somebody that's begging for money. She's still trying to learn the ropes. It's overwhelming, okay? But yeah, she did say that. And if she turned off the button, I'm sure if you guys emailed her, she would refund you your money. But honestly, let it go. You guys donated and gals donated. Just let it go and move on. She's a cute girl for sure, like millions of others, but why are you so blinded by her? I'm not blinded by her at all. Number one, I got my own woman, and she's, a year younger than me. I'm 48, she's 47, and my woman for 47 is a hot woman, and I love her. I'm not blinded by her. I'm just stating the obvious. She's cute. She's going to get a lot of attention from thirsty beta males. And that's probably, where she's getting most of her donations from, thirsty beta males that are, that are insecure and acting beta. That's the bottom line. And they normally wouldn't be able to get the attention of a woman like her without paying a woman like her, right? Would you be on here ranting and raving over her if she weighed 300 pounds and was bald? Dude, she wouldn't have 100K subscribers or close to that if she was 300 pounds and bald. Come on, dude. You're asking stupid questions. I've said it many, many times that part of the reason why, the majority of the reason why she blew up so fast was because she's very attractive and the thirsty beta males support attractive women in their 20s and early 30s. Dude, that's a stupid question. I'm sorry. Okay? No, she wouldn't even have the traction herself if she was 300 pounds and bald. No disrespect to people that are overweight and bald. I mean, I'm bald myself. I shave my head. But I get it. I doubt it. Yeah, you're right. Please don't make this hideous situation any worse. I'm just stating my opinion and opinions, bro. You're just giving other gold diggers ideas. Dude, you're projecting. Let it go, bro. Not every woman is a gold digger, right? Not every woman is a gold digger. There are some, right? And I don't think she's a gold digger. I think she's running a business and trying to turn her life around. And maybe she got a lucky break and met some people at YouTube and met a YouTube producer and met a YouTube employee. And maybe they're sponsoring this. Who knows? Why does it matter? She's not breaking any laws. She's not doing anything wrong. Let it go. She's not scamming anyone. If anything, she's marketing herself in a very smart way and keeping you all tuned in. Good for her. Let's see. We are at 59 minutes. All right. I've gone through enough comments here. And I'm going to come back and do part 2 of the show. And there's a lot more. But I think that's enough. So let me go ahead and go back to full screen. And I just need to take care of something real quick here. Let me see here. Excuse me, folks. This is what we're going to go over when I get back, but I've got to redo my screen here for a second. It won't take too long. I'm an OBS expert. There we go. All right. So let me go ahead and cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Give me just a second here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right. All right. Music is all queued up. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a quick 8 or 9 minute break. And when we return, where is my live stream here? It's not showing up on the feed. Give me a second here. This is interesting. There we are. When I get back from the break, we're going to go over a blog from Psychology Today, and it's titled 5 Key Lessons from the Study of Forgiveness. One more time, 5 key lessons from the study of forgiveness. So stick around for that. That's coming up right after the break. So stick around. Stick around, stick around, round, 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 round. We'll be right back. We're back. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Yeah, it's late night, but you all still have that energy because you love YouTube. You love content, you love entertainment, and you love feeling good and uplifted, right? That's what we do over here. We uplift people. Yeah, I got a little Ethan Mixel here in the shadows from the YouTube audio library. Wow. Feel it, baby, feel it. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Live here on YouTube, live on Coach Eli 2, authentic live streams. This is the place where we uplift you, we make you feel good, we teach you how to love yourself. We help you learn to love yourself so that way you can radiate positivity into this world and get positivity back, and that way you can accomplish whatever it is that your heart desires. Yeah. Before we get back to it, folks, if you would like to make a donation to help support this channel, if you're here live, you can go to the bottom of the chat and hit that super chat. You can send a super chat or super sticker. You can also, on the pre-recorded, well, when it goes to a replay or any pre-recorded content, you can also donate via the super thanks. Look for that heart that says thanks on your mobile, your YouTube mobile app, or on the desktop or laptop version of YouTube. Also, if you would prefer to donate via Cash App or PayPal, Nightbot has been sharing my PayPal and Cash App links every 7 minutes in the chat. On PayPal, you can go to paypal.me/Coach Eli. And on Cash App, you can go to $the real Coach Eli, because I am the real Coach Eli. And as always, donations are greatly appreciated, but they are not required. All right, tonight we have been discussing responding to more viewer comments, plus 5 key lessons of forgiveness. During the first part of the show, I responded to more viewer comments regarding one of the hottest up-and-coming YouTubers currently, a channel called All In with Ari. So if you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay. And now, during the second part of the show, I'm going to be going over a wonderful, amazing Psychology Today blog that was sent to me by my lady, who is in Sleepland right now. Who knows? Maybe she's listening in to me in the background. You never know. Anyway, let's just get right back to it here because it is late at night. It is 2:48 p.m. Sorry, it is 2:48 a.m. Eastern Time, 11:48 p.m. Pacific Time. It's almost midnight here, and West Coast is definitely the best coast for streaming because we're 3 hours behind. While we may be behind time-wise, we're not behind in other things. Just kidding. It's just an inside joke there. All right, so let's go ahead and get back over to the browser source. But let me make sure that my audio is still rolling smoothly. I always want to double-check that. Let's see. Replay. And now, during the second part of the show, I'm going to be going over a wonderful... Yeah, we're sounding good and looking good. All right, let's switch on over to the browser source. This is from my favorite blog site, Psychology Today. And the topic is, or the title is, 5 Key Lessons from the Study of Forgiveness. One more time, 5 Key Lessons from the Study of Forgiveness. This was written by Robert Enright, PhD, and I guess he runs his company called The Forgiving Life. That's a very nice company name. And right here it says forgiveness. I'm all about forgiveness. Below it says, typical therapy makes us aware of anger. Forgiveness cures it. Wow, that's pretty profound. One more time, typical therapy makes us aware of anger. Forgiveness cures it. This was posted August 17th, 2022, about a week ago. So it's very, very new. Now, down below here, we have some key points. Growth in the moral virtues has been de-emphasized in philosophy and in psychotherapy. Yet when clients are given the opportunity to forgive those who have hurt them, this new therapeutic approach can be very healing for clients. Okay, I'm all about forgiveness. This is what really interested me in this blog, and same with my lady. Perhaps it is time to re-examine the ancient tradition of encouraging people to grow in the moral virtues, particularly forgiveness when hurt. Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to take a stab at the millennials, but the millennial generation has really, for the most part, done away with morals, values, and ethics. I'm not saying that there aren't any millennials that don't have morals, values, or ethics, but a lot of them just don't really understand what that means, or even if they do, they choose to not have any morals, values, or ethics. So let's continue and see what was written here. For the past 37 years, my colleagues and I have been studying the psychology of forgiveness. Okay, cool. Forgiveness is a moral virtue centered on goodness for others. Yeah, taking other people's feelings, wants, and needs into consideration. Treating people the way you'd want to be treated. Okay? Do unto others as you would want done upon you, right? In which a person who is offended by the injustice of others offers those others goodness in the form of kindness, respect, generosity, and even love without excusing or necessarily reconciling or abandoning the quest for justice. Yeah, right is right and wrong is wrong. I've been wronged by many people in my life, right? But at this point, people that continue to try and wrong me or actually wrong me, I just, let it go. I ignore it. And, at some point, or during some points, if it's people that I know very well, I'll just say, hey, you know what? I'm not really too fond of what you're saying, but that's okay. That's how you feel. I'm sorry I make you feel that way. I handle it maturely and respectfully. That's the way you should handle it too. Be the bigger person, be the better person, right? A significant focus has been to incorporate this psychology of forgiveness into psychotherapy. What have we now learned about therapy as we have incorporated forgiveness into the helping professions? In this essay, I would like to answer this question with 5 points, all with implications for how the field of psychotherapy, goes about its business, okay? Number 1, when our group had the distinction of being the first to publish research on the moral virtue of forgiveness, first in 1989, and then the first scientific study of forgiveness therapy in 1993, I began to realize, given that psychology began to develop in the 1890s, it took about 100 years before the first empirically based study focused expressly on person-to-person forgiveness was published. Why did this take so long? I don't know. Maybe because, people just love drama and they love to respond to things. And when they're wrong, they just want to get back at people instead of saying, hey, you know what? It wasn't nice what you did, but I forgive you. I forgive you, right? Anytime anyone is wrong, human beings naturally feel a tendency to respond and react and defend themselves. And, the way I handle this now and the way I suggest you folks to handle it now is to just acknowledge it and let it go, right? If it's people you don't know, if it's people coming to you on the internet, you can ignore it. You can make a quick response and say, hey, that wasn't nice for you to say, but hey, you know what? I understand. Maybe you're going through something. Maybe you're projecting, whatever, right? But hey, it's cool. Have a good one. Best of luck to you. I wish no harm upon you. Maybe one day you can get rid of those anger monkeys and become a forgiving person like I am, right? That's that. Number 2, this will probably go pretty quickly. Let me check out the chat real quick here. Number 2, I argue that it took that long for the psychological sciences to see a published work on forgiveness because traditional forms of psychotherapy long abandoned the emphasis on moral virtues, as the field of philosophy also slowly put the examination of ethics on the shelf in favor of political analysis and self-determined ways of interacting with others rather than focusing on objectively real and important moral virtues that we all share, such as striving to be fair with one another for the sake of establishing the good community. Yeah, here's the thing, how I interpret number 2 and how I suggest you folks interpret it and handle it, right? You got to understand that there are many different types of people in this world, and everybody's been through something different, and everybody has gone through traumatic things. Everybody's experienced the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. You have to understand people are emotional beings. Both men and women are emotional beings, like I always say, right? Now, granted, women, are going to respond and react to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. And men typically will look at things logically and then decide whether they want to react or respond or not, right? And while I know it's harder for women to not react to these things, right? Okay, what I preach nowadays is for both men and women to just think about, the better good of everyone. No matter how much somebody comes at you, no matter how rude they are to you, no matter how much they try to kick you down or talk shit to you, right? Just sit there, listen to it, and smile and say, hey, you know what, sister, brother, whatever, I forgive you. Okay? And that person that came at you might say, forgive me for what? Hey, maybe you're having a bad day. Yeah, I understand. You're upset about me for something. I don't know what I did to upset you, right? And you really didn't do anything wrong. It's typically a projection because these people are unhappy. They see you happy, and they're trying to kick you down to their level so they can feel better. And if you can learn to understand that and respond to it and say, hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? I don't like what you're saying, but hey, I forgive you. I'm not upset. I get it. If you want to sit down and talk about what's really bothering you, I'd be happy to listen. If not, I'm going to let you go because, I like to keep things positive and uplifting in my life, right? You don't always have to go back and forth and attack someone back just because they attacked you. It has to stop somewhere. And if you're the one that just stops it and cuts it off at the knees, eventually the other side will stop doing it, right? And they may stop doing it to other people too. But it has to stop somewhere. Number 3. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Okay. As psychology sought people's healing from trauma without a focus on growing in the moral virtues, the field of psychotherapy made the mistake of being technique-oriented rather than growth-oriented. Right, because people don't really comprehend or understand these fancy words or techniques. When it's, when it is about being growth-oriented, it's in my opinion, it's looking at people from a realistic level and using words people can understand. And taking a different approach, such as saying, hey, you know what? Be a forgiving person. Have a forgiving heart and have a forgiving type of nature, right? Lead by example. This distinction is vital. And so I want to be sure that you do not pass over this quickly, but instead see this and reflect seriously on it. Yeah, I agree. Let's continue. Here is what I mean by technique-oriented. If client A comes to a psychotherapist, yeah, okay, that was right. There's just a hyphen there. If client A comes to a psychotherapist and this client is fuming with anger over another person's unfairness, but as yet is aware of the anger's depth, a key issue is to make the unconscious now conscious. Right. Share with that person why the other person is doing what they're doing to try to anger them. It's typically a projection. And if people learn to understand this, they're not going to get angry. They're going to be able to say, this person's having a bad day. This is something within them. What they're saying about me isn't true. I'm not going to react. I'm just going to be a forgiving type of person and just ignore it and move on. Right? Client A, in other words, breaks through the denial of the deep-seated anger and now sees that, in fact, there is much anger inside. The unveiling of the unconscious, I am not that angry, to consciousness, I am really fuming, or I really am fuming, is supposed to be curative. Yet if client A eventually sees and experiences this deep anger or resentment, how is client A supposed to now get rid of that anger? It will not necessarily just fade by looking at it. Well, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and start by loving yourself. I continue to say this all the freaking time. If you have self-love deep within, nothing anyone says will ever bother you. Nothing anyone says or does will ever bother you. But you have to truly, truly love who you are and who you see in the mirror and who you are deep within in order to get to that state. And you got to live by this phrase I also constantly state all the time, and that is the only opinion of yourself that really matters is your own. The only opinion of yourself that really matters is your own. Once you get to that state, nothing will bother you, and you'll become a forgiving person, and you'll understand why other people are trying to anger you. It's because they wish they could be as cool, calm, and collected as you are. Right. Another approach, some psychotherapists would ask client A to think in new ways about the anger. For example, a key issue would be to help this person lower the temperature of this internal discontent. Internal discontent. They're not in a content state by thinking new thoughts such as, what happened to me was not as bad as I had thought. I am catastrophizing too much. Yeah, you're letting stuff get to you that you should really just say it is what it is. Sometimes things happen. They're out of your control. Let that shit go and move on. Don't let it ruin your day. Bottom line. Yet rethinking how one interprets the past situation will not necessarily end the anger either, as the past event is real and hurtful and is leading to difficult to end anger. Even abiding with the anger and accepting it for now will not end the anger, especially when one is not meditating on it in this way. Now, the way that this person writes is kind of like a very difficult way to read, but I understand what they're saying, and I'm doing the best I can to interpret it, for you folks. Basically, the bottom line in clear words, what this person is saying is the only way your anger monkeys will end deep within is if you just let that shit go. Don't let people get to you. Understand that there are a lot of people in this world that are going to be jealous of you for whatever reason. And they're going to try to kick you down because they perceive you to be better than them for whatever reason. They want to kick you down to their level so that way they can feel better about themselves. But you gotta learn to understand why anyone that's coming at you and attacking you in any way, shape, or form is actually doing it. It is a direct reflection of how they see themselves. It's a projection. That's all it is. Bottom line. You learn to figure that out like I have, and it'll make your life a hell of a lot better and smoother, and there'll be a hell of a lot less drama in your life. And trust me, I've had enough drama in my life. I don't need any more, and neither should you. So anyway, we're at number 4. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air probably in about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Let me see here. We're at an hour and 29 minutes. Tam, Miss T, with the $2 Australian super chat. Hope you're having a great day, Eli, and your lady. Yeah, she's sleeping. Thank you for the super chat, Tam. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for passing by and stopping in. Hope your husband is doing well. It is 3:03 a.m. Eastern time, 12:03 a.m. Pacific time. It just hit midnight here on the West Coast, Pacific time zone. And it is probably 8 hours ahead in Australia. So it's probably like 8 in the morning there, huh? Good morning to you, Tam, and to your husband as well. Thank you again for the $2 Australian super chat. Number 4, forgiveness therapy, in contrast to the above kinds of psychotherapeutic techniques, is not at all technique-oriented. Instead, forgiveness therapy asks client A to do the hard and even long work of growing in the moral virtue of forgiveness. And if only the client is ready, so that this client begins to see the inherent worth in the offending person, begins to see common humanity, between the offender and the self and willingly bears the pain so as not to toss that pain back to the other in a never-ending hurt and be hurt pattern. It's exactly what I've been saying, and I've been saying it in much more clearer words than the way this is written. This is written in a very strange, grammatic way, and there are a lot of hyphens that make it much harder to read. I'm doing the best I can here. But basically, it's about you looking at yourself in the mirror and loving yourself and being so happy within yourself that nothing anyone ever says or does makes you feel crappy. Even if they say crappy things to you, you can just ignore it. Or, if you want to say something to someone that's coming at you in that way, just say, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry you feel that way about me. I'm not, I don't know what I did that offended you, but if I offended you in any way, shape, or form, I apologize. But I hope your day gets better, right? That's how a healthy, down-to-earth person that has a forgiving heart and a forgiving nature is going to respond. They're not going to continue to feed into it and say, hey, dude, why'd you talk shit about me? You talk shit about my woman and blah, 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 right? All that does is pour more fuel on the fire. Learn to pour more water on the fire and diffuse it before it goes any further than it needs to go, right? Let's see. Let's continue here. This approach to psychotherapy is radical because it deliberately does not see treatment as a set of techniques. Instead, it sees it as a long and slow process of growing in one's humanity, with the paradox of the client benefiting in a psychological way when giving goodness to those who are not good to the client. Yeah, I have nothing more to add to that. That makes perfect sense. That makes absolute perfect sense there. We're at number 5. And we're almost done. Another 5 more minutes and we'll be done. So get your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air in 5 minutes or so. Lewis Fuller's in the house. Good morning, Eli. Just gave you a like. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. Thank you for popping on in. How's your night going? It's 2:07 a.m. in Texas where you're at, right? Central time, right? Right, Lewis? Thank you again for being here. Much appreciated. Number 5, our research group deliberately chose to test forgiveness therapy with seriously compromised clinical populations hurt by others' injustices, such as incest survivors, people in residential drug rehabilitation, and men in a maximum security correctional institution. Yeah, I've come across a lot of people on YouTube over the last 5.5 years that I've been doing this full time that, are people such as what was described here a second ago. And most of them have turned their lives around and have become better people and have learned from their mistakes and now have forgiving, hearts and souls, right? But every now and then you'll come across someone that still hasn't completely worked through, their past, such as the examples I shared here. And then a lot of these people come out here on YouTube, for example, to project their insecurities of what they haven't worked through yet, right? There are a few people out here on YouTube that continue to come at me quite often in this way, and I just kind of laugh at it, and I just say, hey, there you are again, man. Every day, new sock account, and maybe one day you'll realize how stupid this is, and you'll just let it go, and look at yourself in the mirror, really love what you see, and understand that what you're doing is stupid and a waste of time. But until then, hey, you know what it is, right? And I let it go. I don't feed into it, right? We have found the strongest mental health improvement ever published with incest survivors and people within a maximum security correctional institution. This seems to be the case because serious trauma is not healed deeply when only techniques, especially over a short period of time, are applied with clients. Well, I think that in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I'm not a therapist, but in my opinion, based on what I've seen and what I've been through, I think every individual has to decide when they're ready to turn things around and stop letting things get to them And what's really helped me out over the last 15 to 20 years is doing a lot of personal development on myself, which is why I now teach personal development. That's a big part of my coaching business here. I've followed a lot of other coaches. I've read a lot of other self-help books and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, I started this when I was about, I'd say 28 to 30 years old. And before that time, I didn't believe in self-help. I didn't believe in life coaches. I didn't believe, in this, industry. I thought it was all about gurus trying to sell you a pipe dream. Now, there are some gurus out there trying to sell you a pipe dream, but there are many, many great life coaches and authors of self-help books that are genuine and have helped a lot of people. And I am a firm believer in personal development. And that's absolutely 1,000,000% necessary for everyone that's struggling through things to turn their life around. And even if you're not struggling with anything, getting involved with self-help and learning each and every day, reading self-help books and doing personal development should be a part of everyone's life, from their younger days. As soon as you can start reading and learning to understand it, you should start investing in yourself by doing personal development on yourself. So this goes beyond therapy. People aren't even open to therapy, or people can't even get help from therapy, which is what I'm trying to say, unless they're open to it. Okay. In fact, when Dr. Suzanne Friedman and I began the incest survivor study in the mid-90s, the counsel to mental health practitioners in the published literature was this: do not expect too much positive change in incest survivor clients. This is the case because there are no known psychological approaches that can heal the effects of incest. Dr. Friedman proved that advice to be wrong precisely because she shifted from a technique-oriented approach to the virtues-based approach to mental health treatment. Once something happens, once something really traumatic happens, it is going to be a part of your life for the rest of your life, but you can learn to let it go, and you can learn to live past it or live through it or work through it and move on and enjoy your life. Now, there may be some things, in your life that may trigger that trauma every now and then. But if that happens, talk about it with your life partner or a friend or a family member, and quickly work through it and get right back on track. Don't let it ruin your life. Bottom line. Check out the chat here real quick. Yes, 2:08 a.m. Central Time. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you. All right. Get your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We'll be going off the air in just a few minutes. This may seem revolutionary, especially given the norm begun in modernism to de-emphasize the study of ethics and philosophy and concomitantly, man, these words these psychologists use, concomitantly, what does that word even mean? Let's see. Give me a second here. Let me go to my other browser. It's not on the screen here. At the same time. I mean, I've never heard that word. Concomitantly. I don't know if you heard that out on Google. Does it go out? Let me see if this even goes out. Maybe you heard that. Maybe you didn't. Concomitantly. At the same time, simultaneously. Well, you could have used those words that most people understand. To de-emphasize the growth in the moral virtues in psychotherapy, yet such an approach of growing in moral virtue is not new. With origins in ancient Greece, I'm Greek, 100%, and continuing into the medieval period, there is now an emerging synthesis of the old ancient emphasis on moral virtue and the new use of psychological techniques in therapy. How many mental health professionals now will embrace this synthesis and while not abandoning the technique-oriented approaches, begin to include the growth in the moral virtues, particularly forgiveness when clients suffer from grave trauma, into their practices. I'm going to go back to full screen here and just share real quick how much my lady really, really, truly loves her new therapist she's been seeing for a little over a month now. What she loves about her is she's real, and, she's, she knows exactly what she's doing, and she's very well educated, in her field, but she's also a real person, and she bonds with, it's a female therapist, she bonds with her clients like they're best friends. And, every time my lady goes and sees her every couple of weeks, she calls me afterwards, and she feels so amazing. She feels so good. She feels so understood. And it has helped her tremendously. I think, if you're going to go by the book as a therapist, you're not going to be able to help people as well as just, connecting with them at a friendly and friendship level, and, making them feel comfortable so they can open up to you. And, even therapists, they have their own life. They've been through things. They have their own personal experiences where they can relate to many things that their clients go through, and, help them by leading by example. That, as a life coach, that's what I do when people come to me for advice regarding things that I'm able to help them with within my field. So, and I'll say one more thing, I've mentioned this before, I'll say it again. I saw a therapist in my younger days. I think I was around 12 years old, for about a year or a little more than a year. And this therapist, he never gave me any advice or anything. He would just ask me questions and then say, well, tell me more. Share more about this. What happened next? And he never, ever, ever, ever made me feel comfortable, never made me feel, like a friend. I just felt like I was another person, providing for his living. Now, obviously I wasn't paying for it. My family was. I was 12 years old, but I just felt like another client that's making him money. So I do like the new techniques that were discussed in that blog. All right. Time to wrap things up. I want to thank everyone for being here. The time this show ended, it was 3:18 a.m. Eastern, 12:18 a.m. in my neck of the woods, shortly after midnight. I've been really trying to get some pre-recorded content out on my main channel, but just things keep coming up. And I was going to record some content tonight, but I'm wiped out. I got to get some rest. I'm going to get up tomorrow and get a bunch of content done. You'll probably get at least one stream here on this channel tomorrow, a Walking with Purpose stream, and possibly a stream with my lady and I here on Coach Eli, 2 authentic live streams in the evening. In between that time, I got to get some pre-recorded content and some YouTube shorts on the main channel. If you have not subscribed to my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias Melas, Nightbot's been sharing the link in the chat every 7 minutes, or just go to youtube.com/Life Coach Eli. Make sure you subscribe, you bang the bell, and then select all notifications so that way you won't miss anything. You'll know exactly when I go live and the moment I put out a pre-recorded video or YouTube short. With that being said, have yourselves a great one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.